Welterweight champion Jack Della Maddalena just threw some serious shots at Islam Makhachev, and naturally, Islam's team didn't take it lightly. A clip that's been blowing up on social media shows Jack giving Islam some respect as a fighter, but then breaking down why he thinks his striking is actually easier to deal with compared to Belal Muhammad's. Jack pointed out that Islam rarely switches stances and tends to stick to a pretty traditional stand-up style, which makes him more predictable in those exchanges. JDM is no stranger to facing grappling-heavy fighters who also pose a serious threat in striking, but Makhachev is on another level. Jack is entering his third straight camp, preparing for a grappler. First, there was Gilbert Burns, who possesses insane punching power. Then there's Belal, who has very solid grappling but isn't much of a threat standing up, and now he's staring down Islam, the final boss of grappling. Can JDM finally put an end to Islam's insane win streak? What do you think, fight fans? Can Jack pull it off, or is Makhachev on another level? Drop your takes in the comments below.
I mean, it's just, I think Islam Makhachev is a better version of Belal. I think his striking on the feet is, I think it's easier. The striking on the feet, I think it's easier than Belal, because he'll stay in one stance. He's more traditional style. But yeah, he's the pound for pound #1, so it's a tough fight. But I guess we'll just watch all his fights again, make a solid game plan, and then just start working at it. From pretty much now, I'm going to start working on ways to beat him, different ways to get back to my feet, stuff in the takedown. But I'm pretty confident I can get this one done.
Just days before UFC Paris, where Caio Borralho is set to take on Nassourdine Imavov, Caio made an appearance on Shock MMA and got into the details of what he sees as the secret to beating Khamzat Chimaev. He admitted straight up that he fully expects Chimaev to take him down, and his plan is to rely on his jiu-jitsu from the bottom, using a versatile BJJ game to stop Khamzat from advancing while creating opportunities to get back up. Beyond the ground, Caio says he wants to frustrate Chimaev with what he calls his versatile stand-up and grappling, mixing things up to keep the champ guessing. And yeah, Khamzat and Caio have trained together. Multiple sources say Chimaev demolished him in sparring, but as always, training is one thing, the octagon is another, and Caio believes his plan could still translate when it counts. If you care about the behind the scenes stuff, here's how the reports say Khamzat's sparring went with Nassourdine Imavov and Reinier. Word is, Khamzat absolutely destroyed Imavov, giving him zero chance to hang with him, showing the kind of dominance that has everyone talking. With Reinier, it was a bit different. RDR himself says it was more of a striking focus session, very close and competitive, though they didn't go full-on MMA sparring. Now, let's dive into what Caio had to say.
Yeah, I think my jiu-jitsu, I think I can give a lot of threats on him, on my jiu-jitsu, on my ground game, if it's on the bottom or on the top, but mostly on the bottom because he might take me down the fight, and I accept that. It's more the way that I'm gonna frustrate him, you know what I mean? Denying his steps and showing all my versatility. So my jiu-jitsu, and when it comes in the striking, my distance control, my feints, I'm gonna make him shoot in a wrong time, in a different time that he wanted. So that's the kind of threats that I possess to him. My striking, my pressure after he gets tired and frustrated, For sure, it's not an easy task. Far from that, it's very hard because he's a guy that is very good. But I feel myself as one of the best in the world too, a phenomenal athlete too. So I think it's gonna be two of the best athletes in the world facing each other.
After Jack Della Maddalena's comments and Khamzat Chimaev throwing out a call-out to Islam Makhachev, Team Khabib reacted big time. In a recent interview with Submission Radio, Islam's head coach Javier Mendez addressed all the chatter and dropped some insight into a possible timeline for a Chimaev fight at middleweight, a matchup that could see Islam go for a third belt, something nobody in UFC history has ever done. Mendez made it clear that for now, their full focus is on Jack Della Maddalena, but he added that after Islam beats JDM and secures a couple of title defenses at welterweight, then moving up to face Khamzat becomes a real possibility. The coach also threw out a spicy take, saying he believes Khabib would have done even better at middleweight than Islam, though he made sure to highlight that Islam is insanely skilled and has already shown in the gym that he can dominate bigger guys. He also responded to JDM's remarks about Islam's striking, warning that Jack will only realize what he's facing once he steps into the octagon with Islam, experiencing something he has never encountered before.
that he believes Islam's stand-up is a little bit easier to deal with than Belal's, because Islam has more of a traditional style.
If he's saying that, I hope that he goes in believing that, because when he gets in there with Islam, you're going to find out a whole different story, because I'm sorry, they're completely different. Going on 11 years of watching him just destroy everybody on the stand-up, guys that are much better stand-up than him, and he still destroys them. So, Khamzat's a huge guy to begin with. And I just say let him enjoy his great victory, and let's see what happens from there. But there's a lot of fish for him in the other divisions, And what I think is, I think he defends the title at welterweight and see how he feels there. And if he feels strong and comfortable, then play it in the air. But I think he needs to stay at welterweight and defend it a few times there, to become even more respected, because then you're not just jumping up in weight. You're sticking there and you're doing your thing.
Speaking of Team Khabib, Usman Nurmagomedov, the current PFL lightweight champ, didn't hold back and absolutely trashed UFC lightweight champ Ilia Topuria. Usman claims his resume blows Topuria out of the water, pointing out he already has 14 finishes in his career, and questioning how El Matador can be considered the best lightweight in the world with just one fight at 155. He's confident that after his next fight against Paul Hughes, he'll be able to say he's the best lightweight in the world, no questions asked. Team Khabib has clearly revealed their big plans for Usman to eventually enter the UFC and carry on the legacy of Khabib and Islam at lightweight. And whether or not we ever see him clash with Topuria, the hype around that potential matchup would be insane. The tension is already building, and fans are waiting to see if this showdown will actually happen. So if the Islam versus Ilia fight doesn't materialize, a Usman versus Ilia fight would be a good alternative.
Come on, brother. Ilia Topuria, how he can be lightweight #1 in the world? He cannot be. He did only one fight. I have 19 fights in lightweight.
And undefeated.
I have 25. Now, I beat former champions, I beat champions, and I think my resume is better than him. He have only 15 or 14? 13? How many fights he have?
I think 14. I think that's the number.
Yeah, but I have 14 finished in my career.
Absolutely. So after Islam wins the welterweight title, then you can officially declare yourself the #1 lightweight.
After when I will finish this guy, I will call myself I'm the best lightweight.
That's it from MMA Psycho. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA news.